Okay, thank you, Mayor and members of City Council, for giving me the opportunity to discuss all of the really exciting things that the Planning and Zoning Commission did in 2018. I'm also going to touch briefly on some things we're working on in 2019. I'd like to begin by first recognizing that the reasons that we were able to accomplish so much that you're going to hear about shortly in 2018, it's because of the dedication and the hard work of the entire planning and zoning team. Especially, though, I have to say, and no surprise, right, that especially to the city staff that supports the Planning and Zoning Commission. Aubrey, Becky, Mary Kay, without them, we would have not gotten nearly much done last year. So hats off to them for all their help and assistance. Our current slate of commissioners is listed on the title page here. They're all volunteers: Brett Banfield, Richard Clark, Eric Gunther, Lisa Lundquist, myself, Joe Matranga, Marcus Perry, and Richard Sasson. Also like to recognize our council liaisons, Sally Branson and Carl Gustafson, and appreciate all the help that they provide. I mentioned the exciting things that we were working on, and I got a few snickers, I think. Yeah, around you, yeah. But so I thought I would actually start off on what I think is just, a really exciting topic, and that is plats. I mean, that's the really big drawings. It's got easements. It's got right-of-ways. I mean, that's really exciting stuff, right? At least Becky has thought so when I've met with her about them. But okay, maybe not so exciting, but really, really important. Many of our major land projects in Friendswood start out in the early stages with a preliminary plat. And I've shown an example of one here that was just mentioned, Georgetown. So that's the preliminary plat, what it looked like for Georgetown. We approved 6 preliminary plats and you can list them, see there, Sterling Creek, Clear Creek Community Church. We approved, after going through the preliminary stage, they go to final. We've approved 8 final plats and replats from various subdivisions around Friendswood that you've heard about. Friendswood Trails, Arbor Gate, Flying Leaf Estates. So after plats, a lot of the commercial businesses, one of their next stages we'd see is commercial site plans. So Planning and Zoning approved 7 commercial site plans. There's an example of one for Friendswood Dermatology, one of the site plans that we approved. And you can see the rest there of all 7. We approved 4 amendments and extensions: Tires by Design, the Bank Corp ATM, property on Heritage Drive, and then the Benzie Garage condominiums you can see as well. So in addition, one of the other obligations of planning and zoning, besides approving plats, is to make recommendations to City Council. And you can see that we made 5 zone change recommendations. I've shown one of the zoning maps, and we've seen more of those lately, but that's the one for 3099 West Parkwood. And you can see we recommended a change from light industrial to light industrial with a special use permit, one of the many that you've seen coming out of planning and zoning. And in the essence of time, won't read through them all, but we also, in the process, we also recommended to vacate 3 right-of-ways and easements throughout 2018. So you can see various reasons. Property owners will look to, and the first one is an example on Stephen Luke Lane. They were making some modifications to the house post-Harvey, but the builder had left an old, unused, never used drainage easement. So as part of our obligation, we looked into that. We made a recommendation to council, and council approved vacating that one, and the 2 others as well. Other 2018 P&Z activities. We did welcome 2 new commissioners in 2018 to maintain our full complement of 7 on the commission. We held 21 formal commission meetings and over 10, we lost track a little bit, but over 10 subcommittee meetings. So we conducted the annual review of the permitted uses table that we talked about, Aubrey talked about earlier, and the NAICS codes. Made those updates that are listed there, provided recommendations to City Council on the major thoroughfare plan update, and then the stairs on the elevated homes ordinance. Post-Harvey, some of the homes had to be raised, I think everybody remembers, and then the front stairs then would stick and come past the build lines. So we made recommendations to council on that. Study of land use assumptions, capital improvements plan, and then impact fees update were all recommendations to council. We had 3 commissioners and 2 staff members attend the American Planning Association conference in Galveston. I was one of those commissioners, and I appreciate the support for allowing us to go and do that. We always learn a lot from those conferences and take away a lot of action items for us to come back and always looking to get better as a commission. We formed, as you've heard about earlier, formed a downtown district subcommittee to review the design criteria for new and redevelopment in the downtown area. And then we held a retreat to establish what our priorities were and what are our goals for the commission. So that was very helpful. That led to some of the things in 2018 that we worked on, but it also led to some of these 2019 things that we're currently working on. Just to briefly go through them, we are looking at reviewing and updating the zoning ordinance, the subdivision ordinance, and the design criteria manual as part of this Scenic City. That's still ongoing in 2019. Review and updating the official zoning map, which was, as you can see, last updated in 2015. We're working on updating the future land use map, general update to zoning ordinance and subdivision ordinances, and we're evaluating the need to update the Friendswood comprehensive plan. It's been many years since that's been updated. We're not saying we're doing it. We're just going to look at it and see if it makes sense or not, and then come back with recommendations and work with council on that. Improve the communications with FDEDC. Consider changing the joint public hearings with City Council to separate public hearings, and then consider changing the commission meeting dates. So the last 4 of these all were generated in our retreat. So that was a very worthwhile way to kind of put these together and put these as a priority. I'm sure this isn't all we're going to do in 2019, but it's at least what's currently on our plate. So with that pretty much concludes my prepared remarks, and thank you again for giving me the time to, it's exciting to me, and we have a really good group of folks on the commission right now, and look forward to continue working with you. Any comments, any questions?
I just want to thank you, Joe, and all the commissioners for what you guys do. I think most people understand that we're all volunteers up here, but we up here on the dais couldn't do what we're doing because we're talking about work that you're doing at the planning and zoning level every meeting that we have up here. There's not a city council meeting where we're not talking, voting on something that you guys have worked on. So we appreciate it. We couldn't do the things that we're doing without you guys, and we appreciate you going the extra mile, really, and breaking up into subcommittees and evaluating things that we didn't really probably have the foresight to ask you to do. You took that on your own and realized there was a need in several cases, and we do appreciate it. And Aubrey, Becky, you guys are stars. So thank you for putting up with all these people and guiding them and holding their hands and all that kind of stuff. And of course, Mary Kay, thank you too for your support. So thank you.
No, thank you.